Welcome back, in final part 7 of Google Chrome.
Chrome overtook Firefox in November 2011 in worldwide usage.
As of September 2022, according to StatCounter, Google Chrome had 67% worldwide desktop usage share, making it the most widely used web browser.
Along with Safari and Mozilla Firefox, Chrome receives a weekend bump, which boosts its market share by as much as 3 percentage points on weekends, at the expense of Internet Explorer. It was reported by StatCounter, a web analytics company, that for the single day of Sunday, March 18, 2012, Chrome was the most used web browser in the world for the first time.
Chrome secured 32.7% of the global web browsing on that day, while Internet Explorer followed closely behind with 32.5%.
From May 14 to 21, 2012, Google Chrome was for the first time responsible for more internet traffic than Microsoft's Internet Explorer, which won and held its spot as the most used web browser in the world.
According to StatCounter, 31.88% of web traffic was generated by Chrome for a sustained period of 1 week and 31.47% by Internet Explorer.
Though Chrome had topped Internet Explorer for a single day's usage in the past, this was the first time it had led for 1 full week. At the 2012 Google I/O Developers Conference, Google claimed that there were 310 million active users of Chrome, almost double the number in 2011, which was stated as 160 million active users. In June 2015, according to StatCounter, Chrome overtook Internet Explorer for the first time in the US. In August 2015, Chrome was used by 43% of Internet users worldwide.
This study was done by Statista, which also noted that in North America, 36% of people use Chrome, the lowest in the world.
In December 2010, Google announced that to make it easier for businesses to use Chrome, they would provide an official Chrome MSI package.
For business use, it is helpful to have full-fledged MSI packages that can be customized via transform files, .mst, but the MSI provided with Chrome is only a very limited MSI wrapper fitted around the normal installer, and many businesses find that this arrangement does not meet their needs.
The normal, downloaded Chrome installer puts the browser in the user's local app data directory and provides invisible background updates, but the MSI package will allow installation at the system level, providing system administrators control over the update process. It was formerly possible only when Chrome was installed using Google Pack.
Google also created group policy objects to fine-tune the behavior of Chrome in the business environment, for example, by setting automatic updates intervals, disabling auto updates, and configuring a home page.
Until version 24, the software is known not to be ready for enterprise deployments with roaming profiles or terminal server/Citrix environments. In 2010, Google first started supporting Chrome in enterprise environments by providing an MSI wrapper around the Chrome installer.
Google started providing group policy objects, with more added each release, and today there are more than 500 policies available to control Chrome's behavior in enterprise environments.
In 2016, Google launched Chrome Browser Enterprise Support, a paid service enabling IT admins access to Google experts to support their browser deployment.
In 2019, Google launched Chrome Browser Cloud Management, a dashboard that gives business IT managers the ability to control content accessibility, app usage, and browser extensions. Installed on its deployed computers.
In September 2008, Google released a large portion of Chrome's source code as an open source project called Chromium.
This move enabled third-party developers to study the underlying source code and to help port the browser to the Mac OS and Linux operating systems.
The Google-authored portion of Chromium is released under the permissive DSD license.
Other portions of the source code are subject to a variety of open source licenses.
Chromium is similar to Chrome, but lacks built-in automatic updates and a built-in Flash player, as well as Google branding and has a blue-colored logo instead of the multi-colored Google logo.
Chromium does not implement user RLZ tracking.
Initially, the Google Chrome PDF viewer, PDFEM, was excluded from Chromium, but was later made open source in May 2014.
PDFEM can be used to fill PDF forms.
Chromium is a free and open source web browser project, primarily developed and maintained by Google.
It is a widely used code base, providing the vast majority of code for Google Chrome and many other browsers, including Microsoft Edge, Samsung Internet, and Opera.
The code is also used by several app frameworks. Chromium is a free and open source software project.
The Google authored portion is shared under the three-clause DSD license.
Third-party dependencies are subject to a variety of licenses, including MIT, LGPL, MSPL, and an MPL/GPL/LGPL tri-license. This licensing permits any party to build a code base and share the resulting browser executable with a Chromium name and logo.
Thus, many Linux distributions do this, as well as FreeBSD and OpenBSD.
Chromium provides the vast majority of source code for Google Chrome, but there are important differences. Chromium lacks the following Chrome features: automatic browser updates,
API keys for some Google services, including Browser Sync,
the Widevine DRM module,
licensed codecs for the popular H.264 video and AAC audio formats,
and tracking mechanisms for usage and crash reports. Google first chose the name Chrome for its browser.
Then the open source release was named Chromium because chromium metal is used to make chrome plating.
Chrome has the same user interface functionality as Chromium, but with a Google branded color scheme.
Unlike Chromium, Chrome is not open source. Its binaries are licensed as freeware under the Google Chrome Terms of Service.
The Chromium browser code base contains over 32 million source lines of code, excluding comments and blank lines. Chromium has been a Google project since its inception, and Google employees have done the bulk of the development work. Google refers to this project in the offshoot Chromium OS as the Chromium Projects, and its employees use that chromium.org email address for this development work.
However, in terms of governance, the Chromium projects are not independent entities. Google retains firm control of them.
The Chromium browser code base is widely used, so others have made important contributions, most notably Microsoft, Igalia, Yandex, Intel, Samsung, LG, Opera, Vivaldi, and Rave.
Some employees of these companies also have @chromium.org email addresses.
Google designed the first multi-process browser.
Compared to single-process designs, this architecture has better responsiveness, with many browser tabs open and security benefits of process isolation, but with a trade-off of higher memory usage.
This was later refined as per-process website isolation, providing additional security. Another important design decision was for the browser's user interface to be minimalistic. The browser engine was originally based on Apple's WebKit, which Google gave the obvious choice of available options.
However, Google's novel multi-process design required engine changes.
This divergence from Apple's version increased over time, so in 2013 Google officially forked its version as the Blink engine. C++ is the primary language, comprising over half of the code base.
This includes the Blink and V8 engines, the implementation of HTTP and other protocols, the internal caching system, the extension API, and most of the user interface.
The rest of the user interface, called the Web UI, is implemented in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, usually via TypeScript translation.
An extensive collection of web platform tests is also written in these languages plus XML.
Third-party libraries that provide essential functionality, such as SQLite and numerous codecs, are written in C, C++, or beginning in 2023, the newer Rust language. Support for mobile operating systems requires special languages, for Android both Java and Kotlin, and for iOS both Objective-C and Swift. Python is the main language of the build system, which also has special configuration files for Google's GN tool. The bug tracking system is a publicly accessible website.
Participants are identified by their email addresses.
The Chromium Continuous Integration System automatically builds and tests the code base several times a day. Builds are identified by a 4-part version number that is major.minor.build.patch.
This versioning scheme and the branch points that occur every 6 to 7 weeks are from Google Chrome and its development cycle.
Google Chrome debuted in September 2008, and along with its release, the Chromium source code was also made available, allowing builds to be constructed from it. Upon release, Chrome was criticized for storing a user's passwords without the protection of a master password.
Google has insisted that a master password provides no real security against knowledgeable hackers, but users argued that it would protect against coworkers or family members. Borrowing a computer and being able to view stored passwords as plaintext.
In December 2009, Chromium developer P. Casting stated, a master password was issue 1397. That issue is closed. We will not implement a master password. Not now, not ever. Arguing for it won't make it happen. A bunch of people would like it won't make it happen. Our design decisions are not democratic. You cannot always have what you want. Version 3 was the first alpha available for Linux.
Chromium soon incorporated native ME for Linux, using the GTK Plus toolkit to allow it to fit into the GNOME desktop environment.
Version 3 also introduced JavaScript engine optimizations and user-selectable themes. Version 6 introduced features for user interface minimalism, as one of Google's goals was to make the browser feel lightweight, cognitively and physically, and fast.
The changes were a unified tools menu, no home button by default, although user configurable, a combined reload/stop button, and the bookmark bar, deactivated by default.
It also introduced an integrated PDF reader, WebM and VP8 support for use with HTML video and a smarter URL bar. Version 7 boosted performance to twice that of prior versions via hardware acceleration. Version 8 focused on improved integration into Chrome OS and improved cloud features.
These include background web applications, host remoting, allowing users centrally to control features and settings on other computers, and cloud printing.
Version 9 introduced a number of features, including a URL bar feature for exposing phishing attacks and sandboxing for the Adobe Flash plugin.
Other additions were the WebGL library and access for the new Chrome Web Store.
In February, Google announced that it was considering large-scale user interface (UI) changes, including at least partial elimination of the URL bar, which had been a mainstay of browsers since the early years of the web.
The proposed UI was to be a consolidation of the row of tabs and the row of navigation buttons, the menu, and URL bar into a single row.
The justification was freeing up more screen space for web page content.
Google acknowledged that this would result in URLs not always being visible to the user, that navigation controls and menus may lose their context, and that the resulting single line could be quite crowded.
However, by August, Google decided that these changes were too risky and shelved the idea. In March, Google announced other directions for the project.
Development priorities focused on reducing the size of the executable, integrating web applications and plugins, cloud computing, and touch interface support.
Thus, a multi-profile button was introduced to the UI, allowing users to log into multiple Google and other accounts in the same browser instance.
Other additions were malware detection and support for hardware-accelerated CSS transforms.
By May, the results of Google's attempts to reduce the file size of Chromium were already being noted.
Much of the early work in this area concentrated on shrinking the size of WebKit, the image resizer, and the Android build system.
Subsequent work introduced a more compact mobile version that reduced the vertical space of the UI. Other changes in 2011 were GPU acceleration on all pages, adding support for the new Web Audio API and the Google Native Client (NACL), which permits native code supplied by third parties as platform-neutral binaries to be securely executed within the browser itself.
Google's Ski graphics library was also made available for all Chromium versions.
The sync service added for Google Chrome in 2012 could also be used by Chromium builds.
The same year, a new API for high-quality video and audio communication was added, enabling web applications to access the user's webcam and microphone after asking permission to do so.
The GPU accelerated video decoding for Windows and support for the QUIC protocol were added. In 2015, Chromium's modified WebKit rendering engine was officially forked as the Blink engine. Other changes in 2015 were the ability to reset user profiles and new browser extension API'(S).
Tab indicators for audio and webcam usage were also added, as was automatic blocking of files detected as malware.
Version version 67 added the security benefit of per-process website isolation.
Then version 69 introduced a new browser theme as part of the 10th anniversary of Google Chrome.
The same year, new measures were added to curtail abusive advertising. Since 2021, the Google Chrome Sync service can no longer be used by Chromium builds. Starting with version 110, only Windows 10 and later are supported for Windows users. In addition to Google Chrome, many other actively developed browsers are based on the Chromium code. Proprietaries are Arc, Amazon Silk, Avast, Komodo Dragon, DuckDuckGo, Epic, Maxon, Microsoft Edge, Naver Whale, NetFront, Opera, Puffin, Samsung Internet, Sleipner, SRware Iron, UC Browser, and Vivaldi. Primarily non-English. 360 and QQ for the Chinese market.
Cock for the Vietnamese market.
And Yandex for the Russian market. Fossar, Brave, Google, Falcon, Conqueror, Otter, Qt Browser, Supermium, and Google Chromium. These notable app frameworks embed a Chromium browser as the functional core of custom apps. Chromium Embedded Framework, Electron, and Qt Web Engine. The two prominent Chromium-based WebView components also provide a similar way to make apps. Android System WebView and Microsoft Edge WebView 2. With either approach, the custom app is implemented with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and other web technologies.
Moreover, the app can be readily deployed on the operating systems supported by Chromium.
Since the 2010s, many apps have been created this way.
Two examples are Spotify and Slack.
It is possible to develop applications, extensions, and themes for Chrome.
They are zipped in a .crx file and contain a manifest.json file that specifies basic information such as version, name, description, privileges, etc. And other files for the user interface, icons, pop-ups, etc.
Google has an official developer's guide on how to create, develop, and publish projects.
Chrome has its own web store, where users and developers can upload and download these applications and extensions.
As with Microsoft Internet Explorer, the popularity of Google Chrome has led to the appearance of malware abusing its name.
In late 2015, an adware replica of Chrome named eFast appeared, which would usurp the Google Chrome installation and hijack file type associations to make shortcuts. For common file types and communication protocols linked to itself, and inject advertisements into web pages.
Its similar-looking icon was intended to deceive users. That's it for all today. Thank you for watching this episode. Be sure to hit a like, subscribe to our channel with post notifications turned on for more videos as usual, and in the meantime, see you.